What's good with y'all niggas, man? Welcome back to another video, another reaction video. Now, I've been saying this when I was reacting to the motherfucking the prison videos. I was saying, bro, nigga, why the fuck is he like going to jail and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you could have did anything else. You could have been a motherfucking go to I don't know, something I'm be a billionaire for 24 hours, something else besides, but you want to be a prisoner for 24 hours. And I was saying in the video, I was like, bro, they trying to push that shit on the young niggas, cause you know what I'm saying, they fans be young, so they trying to think all that shit cool, but that shit is not cool. Before we start reading the comments, the influence he has on young kids and teens is so scary. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. See what they talking about, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow my other channel in the description, all that good
Hey
stuff.
guys, I
Follow
hope
my
all is
Instagram
well.
too.
Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm back here with D.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Cenat pushing the prison agenda. Let's get right into it. In the past few years, live streaming has really started to become more popular than ever before, finally reaching what I would call its peak last year going into this year. Streamers started to get more and more popular as millions of people started tuning in for their entertainment. The biggest streamers go live and manage to gather hundreds of thousands of live viewers watching any given stream. This is partly the reason these streamers are being declared the new rappers, as they're massively popular and just like rappers have been getting million-dollar deals. Aiden Ross is one of the more popular streamers who was rumored to sign a streaming deal with the site Kick for a $100 million deal. More money than most rappers see in their entire career. You may ask yourself why these streaming sites are giving
Right, $150 million is just streaming, but that's okay.
streamers so much money. Well, it all goes back to influence and control. Streamers are the new rappers in the sense that they're the ones with the youth in their hands. The kids now want to be like their favorite streamers, just like they want to be their favorite rappers. The elite see just how much influence these streamers have and want to be able to control it. If they can control what the influencer says and promotes, they can influence the entire generation of kids who admire these streamers. These big corporations buy the influence these streamers have by offering them million-dollar deals. The fact that they pay them that much lets you know to what extent the influence goes. This technique isn't new.
Nice.
They have been doing this with everything that is popular. They did it with rappers in the music industry. Record labels who are owned by the elite of our world sign rappers straight out of the hoods, then use them to promote destruction to their
Facts.
very own people. They pay them to rap
That's niggas speaking facts like a motherfucker. That shit crazy.
about violence and glamorize the street life and codes. This way, when those who are influenced by the music live out that influence, they can end up in a privately owned prison, owned by the very same people who signed those artists. This is why these streaming sites are giving hundreds of million-dollar deals to people like Cenat, who has the urban youth in his hands. The kids love Cenat, which is why the record labels are sending all their rappers to promote their music through his streams. The labels know to get to the youth nowadays.
Oh, this shit deeper than this. This shit deep. Damn. Hey man, you gotta be careful when you even talking about some shit like this. For the truth is, he putting his face on that motherfucker, so he good.
Nowadays, you must go through Cenat. This is the only reason Drake, the biggest artist in the music industry, chose to attend Kai's live stream the day his album came out, instead of Academic Stream, which is a more hip-hop related live stream. Drake chose Kai because he knows he has control over the youth. This is the reason Kai was offered millions just to stream. The streaming companies are doing the same as the labels, buying the influence.
Bro, listen. But Casanat does talk about God in some of his streams. I think I've seen one for sure when he was like God for sure. So
then they are using the streamers to promote whatever aligns with
he probably so good-hearted, which I hope this is the case. He probably so good-hearted he don't even know that he being used. You know what I'm saying?
agenda. What's interesting is that Kai, just like many rappers, comes from an urban community. He's a Bronx native like myself. They signed Kai to a lucrative deal to promote destruction to the same
He talking about like
that
myself.
populates the
Nigga, you're not from
community he
Bronx.
comes from. Most people think Kai is just a harmless live streamer whose job is just to entertain. The thing is, this is far from the truth. Kai is being used to push a destructive agenda. Recently, we're seeing a perfect example of this with his prison stream he called 7 Days In. A little over a week ago, Cenat started his 7 days in prison stream that consisted of him and other streamers pretending to be locked up in a fake prison.
This is why I never understood this. And I said this and I was reacting to it, that's why I couldn't watch it for that long, bro. that shit. Niggas really going through this.
for
This
a
shit ain't no
week.
game.
During the stream, Kai could be seen pretending to be a prisoner while glamorizing it to his fans. Most of us know prison is a serious situation, and we should all make sure we never end up in there. Recently, a friend of mine got out of prison after 7 long years, and from what he tells me, it's nothing like Kai Cenat makes it seem. Kai is
Facts.
being used to glamorize prison just like the rappers are. Rappers are used to influence the urban youth in hopes of either getting rid of them or putting them in a prison where the elite profit off their imprisonment. Prison is a massive business that makes
Bro,
trillions
that's why I like being high, because I get to understand shit like this. But this shit is fucking crazy.
of dollars a year. And just like every other business,
How
it
much?
has men. Prison is a massive business that makes trillions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And just like every other business, it has men that profits from it. These same men are the ones giving these kids hundreds of millions of dollars because they'll make it all back at the end. Kai knew when he signed that deal that he was selling his soul, and he admitted this himself.
When?
If you know what I'm going for, you know what I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to sign that deal. I want to sign the deal. It's up my soul. It's up my soul. It's up my soul.
He
Oh,
knew that
shit.
by signing these big deals with these corporations, he would become property to these corporations, a puppet that they can use. This is exactly what Kai revealed by admitting he was going to sell his soul by signing the deal. During this prison stream, Kai is making prison look fun and enjoyable, like it's just a giant hangout for the boys when in reality,
Bro, I said
it's a
that. Bro, he's saying everything that I said in my video. Which if I find that video, I'm gonna put it right here.
eater
shit
of life
crazy.
and opportunities. Why is this what Kai Cenat is using his massive influence to promote? Knowing that where he comes from, many people end up in prison throwing away their lives over a decision they were influenced to make by the rappers they grew up listening to. Kai knows the urban community youth is targeted. He is not dumb. Instead of using his massive platform to bring change and positively influence his audience, he sells out to the elite and is being used to push the prison agenda. This is the disturbing truth of our world. People are selling out, becoming puppets just for money and fame. Now, for those that are gonna say Kai is doing nothing bad and it's all comedy, you need to wake up. Influence is why companies sign these people to begin with. They know they have a lot of influence. They literally call them influencers because they influence the masses. Kai is doing what he is told to do. Call them influencers because they influence the masses. Kai is doing what he is told to do.
All them people went up in there, fool. This shit shows, but this shit deeper than what y'all think. I'm gonna let this nigga talk. I ain't even gonna comment too much on it.
Holding incarceration to the youth, making it all seem like a giant joke. And for the rest of the people who are going to say
You
what
good?
Kai is doing is not bad, as their shows like 60 Days In, it is not the same, and you guys are wrong. Number one, both of these shows are bad, and just because one person is doing something incorrect doesn't mean another one should do it as well. Plus, 60 Days In at least paints some reality of prison. They're not popular influencers with
Jail,
massive
not prison.
influence
Totally
over the
different.
youth, acting like prison is funny and a place to hang out with the guys. They're actually showing some reality of the dangers that happen within prison. It's two completely different situations.
Facts.
So many kids are already influenced by drill rappers to throw their lives away in the streets. Now, they have influencers making prison seem like a fun old time.
But that's
You
what I
think
was
this
saying.
is
I was like, but they make it seem just and like it's cool, all this shit. Like you can have laptops and shit up in there. No,
a
no, no.
coincidence? This is a well-constructed plan to continue to mentally and spiritually control the urban youth. We need to wake up and stop supporting the things that are created to destroy us. Don't let the nature of it being a joke to fool you. The reason they want Kai Cenat to stream this is because they know what influence it'll have over the children.
Yeah, and actually, he wasn't the first influencer to do this whole in jail thing. Mr. Beast has done this quite a few times, and he has a much younger audience. And I feel like they use this opportunity
damn.
to make jail seem like it's playtime. Especially in this Kai Cenat live stream, they're walking into prison with a group of their friends, chilling, having a good time. They're not really showing their audience the real reality of life in prison. Something else I realized is that in one of the episodes, they invite Krishan Rock, and at some point, she starts saying some prayers, and yeah, that sounds really nice and all, but my problem with this is, just a few months back, she had somebody attack Vicky for doing the same thing on the Baddie East show. Obviously, we can see these things are being done just for the camera, but I feel like this makes her very hypocritical. I don't want people to see Krishan on Kai's stream and be confused and think that she's supporting Christ. The fact that she got mad when Vicky was doing this and then she goes and she does it, it really shows her true colors and reveals that she's really not serving Christ. I feel like they're using this whole prison stream situation as a big joke to influence the youth. But what's sad is that prison isn't a joke. It's really years of somebody's life that's just being wasted. They're not able to be out in the real world doing anything
Everybody went to that show. Bless they soul, man.
successful with their time because they chose to be on a path. The path that they're choosing, they're being manipulated to take through the stuff they're being influenced by on social media and the music.
Yeah, that's a great point. Especially when you mentioned the Krishan Rock situation. So many people probably saw that in the stream and felt happy and felt that, wow, Krishan Rock is probably turning to Christ or is serving Christ. That situation that happened.
always
on
talk about
that
God,
is-
though,
And
so.
to myself, I said, yeah, this is not someone that is truly serving Christ or is for Christ. Even if she wants to pretend she is. She showed their true intentions on the show. And it's already common that the industry loves using these influencers and celebrities to push their specific agenda. And they'll create narratives and create images for these artists or influencers like we've seen with many rappers in the past. Recently, I just spoke about Akon. Akon's a perfect example. Akon never really went to prison, but his whole entire persona, his whole entire image was of being a man in the streets, surviving the streets, years in prison, even though he
Nigga ain't never been in jail? I don't know how I feel about that type of
never
shit, bro.
went to prison. He did get in trouble one time for a weapons charge, but after that he was given probation. He didn't go to prison for it. So his whole convict image is fake. An even better example is with Little Mabu. Little Mabu is the best example of all of it. His father was a multi-millionaire when he already had him. He's done grew up in mansions and has everything he's ever wanted. But then he goes and pretends and cross dresses as a gangster who goes to the hood.
Bro, on God. This don't wake y'all up. I don't know what
in the
will.
Bronx and in Brooklyn and make songs with drill rappers pretending to be gangster. This is literally what the industry does. They use kids like these that they can influence the youth to follow this path, like you said, a path of destruction.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? You mentioned all of those old rappers who are rapping about things that they didn't do. They helped create the rappers like K Flock and D-Thang, promoting this life of destruction that these kids didn't know was just a facade. So eventually they grew up and actually participated in this stuff and ended up in prison. But before they got in prison, they were making music about destroying each other, turning around when somebody was hurt or not here anymore, and then mocking them, spreading this all over, and everybody was just consuming this. We saw where they ended up, just listening to the rappers who were not even living that life, just pushing the destruction that they were being paid to push.
You know, there's a famous hip-hop urban legend I've spoken about in the past, and even Crazy Bone has spoken about it as well. They said that years ago, a secret meeting happened in hip-hop where the elite met with some of the biggest hip-hop executives, and this is before hip-hop was about to go through its transformation and blow up and be what it became today. And supposedly, during this meeting, these elitists that were there were actually investors in a private prison system, and allegedly they invested into the music industry and paid these executives heavily and gave them a lot of budgets to be able to sign gangster rappers, and gave these executives a reason to sign these gangster rappers because they promised them more money and told them that these are the only rappers they wanted to push. The reason allegedly that they did this was so that these rappers that are signed can then promote gangsterism and street culture and create this street culture that we have now that would lead to many people being incarcerated. This meeting was never confirmed, and this is the reason why I call it an urban hip-hop story, but it still seems like it's what really happened if you ask me. Just look at the music industry. In hip-hop, they promote destruction,
I know for a
and
fact
they
that shit happened.
glamorize it. They make it seem like,
I ain't gonna lie, this nigga speaking all facts. I'm gonna get up and try to use in the next video though. That shit was too damn long. But hey, look though, what I'm saying though, they do be trying to push that shit on the black people for sure. So they trying to kill other black people. That shit crazy as fuck. Especially with the music, y'all gotta be careful what y'all listen to, nigga. Listen to like Tim or some shit, gang. These niggas be pussy in real life.